fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The temple smelled of dying lilies and old blood, a cloying sweetness overlaid with the metallic tang of ages. It clung to the back of my throat, a constant reminder of sacrifice and power. I knelt on the cold obsidian steps, the stone biting through the thin fabric of my trousers. My father's sword, Starfear, lay heavy across my lap, its weight a familiar comfort and a crushing burden. Moonlight, fractured and weak, slithered through the cracked dome above, painting the statue of Lyra, goddess of dawn and destiny, in shifting silver. The stone was ancient, worn smooth by centuries of devotion and despair. Her eyes, carved from some dark, unknowable mineral, seemed to follow me, assessing, judging the tremor in my hands as I pressed my forehead to the cold, unforgiving altar. "I am ready," I whispered, the words barely audible above the drip, drip, drip of water echoing through the vast chamber. It wasn't a boast, not a declaration of strength. It was a plea, a desperate hope that I was enough. The air thickened, becoming viscous, almost solid. It pressed against my lungs, stealing my breath. Incense smoke, thick and fragrant, coiled around my throat like a lover's fingers, both comforting and suffocating. A phantom touch, then a voice not spoken but felt. It resonated from the marrow of my bones, a symphony of power and ancient knowing. Lyra of House Dareth, the goddess's voice echoed, a sound that bypassed my ears entirely. "You wield the Starfear blade. Your blood carries the light of heroes. You kneel here, breathless, believing yourself mine." A beat, a cruel, velvet pause that stretched into an eternity. The silence throbbed with anticipation, with a promise of glory and something else, something cold. "You are not." The words were a dagger to the ribs, twisting with each syllable. I swayed, my nails biting into the engraved hilt of Starfear, the cool metal a small anchor in a sea of despair. Vera's laughter rippled through the chamber, a sound like shattering glass, beautiful and terrifying. It wasn't malicious, not exactly. It was detached, clinical. "The chosen one is another," she purred, the sound brushing against my skin like ice. "But you will serve, you will blade. You will hold her hair back as she vomits after her first kill. You will ache for her in the dark when the weight of destiny cracks her open. And when she falters, the goddess leaned down, her presence a suffocating weight, her breath hot as a forge against my ear. You will hand her your sword." The vision that followed was brief, brutal. A flash of a woman bathed in the crimson light of battle, her face streaked with blood and exhaustion. A woman I would serve, a woman I would desire. The thought was a betrayal, a sickening twist in my gut. The goddess withdrew, leaving me gasping for air, the scent of lilies and blood suddenly unbearable. 3 days since the temple. 3 days since the goddess carved my heart out with a smile and handed me a life sentence of servitude. I'd spent those days drowning my sorrow in cheap wine, the Starfear blade propped against the scarred wooden table like a scorned lover. The tavern stank of rotten ale, stale sweat and regret, a perfect reflection of my own state of mind. The common room was dimly lit by grimy lanterns, casting long, distorted shadows that danced with the smoke. I traced the intricate carvings on my wine cup, the metal cold against my fingertips. Rumors slithered through the kingdom like vipers, whispers of the true chosen one, crowned in the south, hailed as the savior of the realm. I tried to ignore them, to bury myself in oblivion, but they were inescapable. Each mention of her name felt like another twist of the knife. The door slammed open with a violence that rattled the tankards on the shelves. Rain and fury swept inside, clinging to a woman drenched to the bone. Water streamed from her dark hair, plastering it to her face. Her armor, though battered and mud-splattered, gleamed under the grimy lanterns, a testament to its quality. She had the face of a storm, etched with determination and a simmering rage. Her gaze, sharp and unwavering, locked onto the Starfear blade. "That's mine," she said. Her voice was smoke and broken glass, rough around the edges, yet undeniably powerful. I stood slowly, deliberately, pushing myself away from the table. "You're mistaken." My voice sounded hollow, even to my own ears. She stepped closer, her movements fluid and predatory. The air crackled with tension. "You're Lyra Dareth, the girl who thought she was special." Her smile was a blade, cold and unforgiving. "Vera told me about you." "The chosen one," I finished, the words tasting like ash. "She also told me you'd be difficult." Her eyes narrowed, she lunged. Our clash sent cups flying, shattering against the stone floor. The scent of wine mingled with the smell of rain and ozone. Her fist grazed my cheek, sending a jolt of pain through my jaw as we crashed into a wall, her breath hot on my neck. "Give me the sword." "No," I twisted, slamming her into the bar, the wood groaning under the impact. Her teeth sank into my shoulder, a searing pain that I barely registered, before I ripped the blade from her grip and bolted into the storm. I chased her through the muddy streets, the rain lashing against my face. We fought in the mud, in the rain, in the dark, a whirlwind of steel and fury. She was faster, stronger, better. Each parry, each block, each near miss chipped away at my confidence, reminding me of the goddess's words. I was meant to serve, I was meant to lose. When she finally disarmed me, knocking Starfire from my grasp, she knelt on my chest, pinning me to the ground. My lungs burned, my muscles screamed in protest. Her own sword, my sword, pressed against my throat, the cold steel a stark reminder of my impending defeat. I looked up into her eyes, searching for what pity, triumph. I found only cold calculation. I saw the golden mark glowing on her collarbone, a symbol of Vera's favor, a brand of destiny. "Kayla," she rasped, her voice barely a whisper above the storm. "My name is Kayla." "Kill me then," I spat, my voice raw with exhaustion and despair. "Prove you're worthy of it." Her gaze dropped to my mouth, lingering there for a heartbeat. The blade trembled in her hand. A flicker of something, uncertainty, crossed her face. Then she sheathed it, the sound echoing in the downpour. She offered me a hand, her fingers calloused and strong. "Come with me." "Why?" I asked, my voice barely audible. Her thumb brushed my wrist, a surprisingly gentle touch. "Because the king is coming, because you hate him as much as I do, and because I don't want to die alone."